How did he bet against the American dream and come out on top? Well, let's find out. First things first, we need to understand the fundamental building blocks of this great American house of cards, and that is the mortgage-backed security or mortgage bond. Now, when we think about it, home loans typically aren't really too hard to understand, right? We want to buy a house, say it costs $1 million, or say we need to take out a loan for $1 million. We go to the bank, we say, hey, we'd like to buy it. Traditionally, the bank will give us that $1 million, okay, and then it's our job over the next 30 years to repay that loan, plus we have to pay interest payments along the way. That money would go directly to the bank, and if at any stage we can't keep making those payments on our mortgage, the bank will come around and take our house off of us. Now, banks obviously repeat this process thousands and thousands of times because in reality, there are thousands and thousands of us that need big loans to be able to buy houses that we can't afford. So in reality, there's heaps of us signed up to these 30-year mortgages, and over the course of those 30 years, we're repaying these loans plus our interest payments. However, what happens these days is a big investment bank will come along to that little commercial bank and say, hey, we're going to write you a check, a big fat check right now if you sell all of those mortgages to us. The commercial bank says, you know what, that sounds fantastic. I want the money now and I can get rid of that risk. And as long as I make a healthy profit in the process, that sounds like a pretty good deal to me. So essentially what's happened is the commercial bank has just sold those mortgages to the investment bank. So now all of us homeowners with mortgages are no longer paying our principal payments and our interest payments back to our commercial bank. In fact, all of that money is now going to the investment bank that bought all of those mortgages. Now, here's the interesting thing. What happens is that the big investment bank bundles up all of these mortgages into what's called a special purpose entity or a special company. That company will thus receive a certain amount of cash flow each year from all of us plebs simply just paying back our mortgages. Now, here's the interesting thing. What this investment bank does is it cuts up this special company into lots and lots of little pieces. These little pieces are the shares of that special purpose entity, and investors can then go and buy those shares. So what are you actually buying if you're an investor in one of these special purpose entities? Well, you're buying a slice of all of the mortgages in that special purpose entity that are slowly being repaid over time.